Okay, so I just wanted to share with you some pictures and videos related to my Beth Shalom journey, but I wanted to kind of explain what some of them were. So this was September of 22, before the conference at Crossroads, where I spoke to my dad on the phone for those 2 hours. So this was my birthday was September 4th, and this is with my aunt and my cousin. My cousin is the same age as my stepdaughter, and they have a strained relationship. So this place, the Lodge at Sedona, is in Sedona, obviously. It's a place that I visited 20 some years ago, and was on an airplane and saw this article on the top 10 labyrinths in the world, and this one was on there, and so that went onto my bucket list. And standing on top of a volcano was on there, and just all these different things, which I also did on that original trip. My then boyfriend, who became my husband, was determined to help me, achieve all of these things I wanted to do, these adventures. So we went here. So I wanted to go back. And so we did that in September. But because of all the new age kind of stuff that happens at these types of places, and especially in this region, I wanted to walk and heal the land. And that's what I did. So when we got there, we were on our way to the Grand Canyon. That was the main thing that my aunt wanted to accomplish, is to let her daughter see the Grand Canyon. So we saw a lot of other really cool stuff on this trip, because she picked me up, and then we picked up her daughter, and she was pulling a camper. And so when we got to the Lodge at Sedona, it's kind of like way off the beaten path. It's down behind a grocery store and beside a Bible church. And anyway, we get there, and we were just going to stop in, spend 20 minutes or whatever, and go on about our day. And she let me out, and she pulled around to park under some shade, and not usually driving with a camper behind her. She went underneath a tree branch that was a little low, and it clipped the top of the camper and ripped off the awning, and it was kind of a mess. So fast forward, we were stuck there all day, and had to wait on the people to come out to assess the damage and to replace the top, and kind of ripped off some of the rubber gasket to the actual top of the camper. So we were there, and I was able to walk this thing over and over and over. When you walk one of these, you start out with an intention. And I was able to walk it once with my cousin, and it was really cool, because my first intention, which was the first one I walked with her, was just the presence of the Holy Spirit, and hers was letting go. And the Lord highlighted like her ponytail at once, and her elbow, and that ended up being something that her mom had like grabbed her, trying to get her not to leave with the keys in a bad moment. She was a teenager and all this stuff, but it was something she really needed to let go, and there was forgiveness that needed to occur, and it did, all part of this deal. And really affirming to her, because she said the words, your intention worked, because that had to have been the Holy Spirit, because nobody knows that that's my elbow and my ponytail. That's crazy. So anyway, this labyrinth, I walked over and over, and that's a new thing they have. It's called a medicine wheel. So let's see, is this a video? Apparently not. we go. So we walked it over and over, and then we ended up going up to the airport. There's a lookout, most beautiful sunset I've ever seen. And we decided to spend the night in the church parking lot because the church had told us we could. And it was free, you know. And then, so I got up the next morning and walked it all over again. But as you will see, bear with me here. Oh, I was time lapsing, but this is Grace. This is my Beth Shalom notes from the first set of classes that Sharon did. And so I'm just walking through the process the whole way. Releasing the sevenfold spirit. And then there's just prophetic stuff happening all along. There's a lemon tree and there's, you know, all this stuff. Okay. This was kind of cool because what I saw when I looked at these chairs was the Trinity. But, you know, here's this, instead of it just being three singular chairs, there's this one where it's Holy Spirit in me. I thought that was really kind of cool. Okay. This one, because I get very nervous about like not going according to what the structure is supposed to be. So we get all, you know, there's a certain path, one way in and one way out, and I get to the edge, and so that means I'm halfway out. And so the Lord said, run right straight through it to the other end. I'm like, I can't not follow the path, you know, that's laid out. Well, that's the path I'm telling you to go. So this is me just, you know, kind of can't believe I'm doing this, and just running right straight through it. So that was kind of a little adventure. Pocket Bible. My grandfather's. Oh, we'll come back to that, I guess. Okay. This is a place in Texas you probably know of. That we just kind of happen upon this ginormous cross. Pure flow. Okay, we just hung up at small group and pulled over on the side of the road at the scenic view, and oh my goodness. I stand on valleys and walk through, I stand on mountains and walk through valleys, just as strong and just the same in both. And this reminds me of the song Stones, and because it was just this deep, deep gorges, and steep, steep mountains. But
Kinda, yeah, but view was pretty.
let's just keep on going. I don't know why this all of these got put into here. I might have to go back and get some notes or something. That was Claire. Their huge dog that came along with us. Okay. Hey, to Arizona.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing.
So Jiva called me um, just to see what I was up to and didn't even know I was on this trip. And so my mom had called me quite a few times. People were trying to get in touch with me, and I'm just enjoying my trip, you know. But I happened to answer her call, and I said, "Well, let me show you. This is what I'm doing today." And little did I know, she had started, you know, making those glass pendants, and she had already made for me a pendant that looked almost exactly like what I was looking at when she called me, with the light coming in, with the, you know, there's a heart here and there's a heart here, the colors, the sands, everything. And it was really cool because the whole time we're walking through this Antelope Canyon, I was holding my hand out, kind of like I was holding like a thumb drive. And I noticed it, but it was kind of, I didn't really understand it. So just before coming up to here, I finally decided to ask the Lord what's going on with this. And he said, my fingerprint is on every piece of sand that's in this place. And so it was like holding a piece of sand, I guess. But it was like his thumbprint or something. And so when she gave me the pendant at the Beth Shalom conference, the same one after I'd talked to my dad, uh, I could hardly even look at it or let her finish what she was saying, because I needed to put it in my hand and hold it, because I just knew when I put it in my hand, it would fit that spot under my thumb like you were holding a thumb drive. And it did. There's a curve in there that just fits it perfect. How cool is that, right? But she had started this, and there's a specific, some of her pieces, the heart pieces, are called sacred adoration. And that's because of a word God had given to me. He was just focusing me on sacred adoration. And we were at a prophetic training that Sharon and Terry were overseeing. And he had me share that word with her to get, she gets it too. And that became the name of the line. And then this happened. So that was pretty cool. Light in the darkness. Melanie, Shekinah. His fingerprints on everything as he holds the heart in his hand. At sunset. This tree, you can tell that the winds tried to knock it down, and we're doggone almost successful. But here it is, alive and well. Dion, who gave the word to me about myrrh, that's my nephew Luke. And when I told him that she had given me this word for him, his response was, I think I need to meet this lady. And I said, well, that might be able to be arranged. So now I'd spoken to my dad on the Thursday night, kind of the smaller team thing before the Beth Shalom conference. This was on Friday of the conference at like, well, there you go, 2:29 p.m. So before I came, we were doing math class, and I invited her to come into our Zoom, and she was able to talk to him, and he was just blown away by it, and he had a dream. He was a general, and he was standing on a rock. And he was a runner, which he is a runner. He's a very fast runner. And as he was running, he saw a purple girl. And there was a water fountain that he drank from. This was his dream. Oh, there was one other detail. He was wearing jeans, which was odd because you don't really wear jeans to run. But so I gave him my interpretation of the dream. And he was like, but how do you know all? Oh, yeah, the living water, the fountain. Yeah. So I said, well, I haven't spoken to her about the dream, but she's pretty good at this stuff too. Why don't you see what she has to say about what your dream meant? And boy, did it match up perfect. And he was just really cool to share that with him. And this, again, is the same last year's fall conference in Moss Bluff. Okay. I was thinking that. Send you this whole thing. It's there, so. Oh, so we're in a bit of a situation here.
Now, please, don't record right now.
Why?
I don't think this is a good idea. Mom's on the phone.
Okay. Hmm. So the little girl that I'm proving right, myself, who had these big dreams and ideas of what the world was supposed to be like and what love was and is and who she is, and all that stuff got kind of damaged. But I get to prove her right. I get to show evidence that she was for real and it's true. If I were a Bible, I would be a thick leather worn out. I really liked to write, so I'll let you hear it. If I were a Bible, I would be a thick leather worn out Bible. I could be open as a bird's wings. I would be a guide to another person's life. I would be honored. Oh, just words, right? Words are my thing. I don't know how much we've talked about this, but a little, because the dictionaries. But I found this so interesting on what my views were of male and female. And I've got one on work and play and maybe child and parent. But boy, very eye-opening. I feel like a lot of kids should do this. We should have our children do these things so that they can look back at them. I'm very grateful my mom kept all of this stuff that I can look back on and learn from today. Handsome, grease, beard, cleaning. Parent. Fussing, ordering, mean, harsh, okay, lungs, human. Oh. Infant, pigtails, small, happy, playful, playing, laughing, child. So eye-opening. Like, how am I supposed to enjoy my work? I felt 1993, age 11, 12. Work. Sweating, laboring, hard, unenjoyable, painful, sweaty, dirty. Play, toys, games, fun, happy, exciting, laughing, jumping, play. Boy, work is really sweaty and sweating. It's interesting though, whenever I go to look at what I had crossed out. So I originally said holy, poor, frightened, created. Back up. Created different. It's a cool exercise. It was a secular training, a Tony Robbins thing that I was going from having my message muted and silencing my story into massive action, a battle cry, and glorious roaring, victorious praise. And so we had these boards that we broke, very simple, like little 1/4-inch pine boards. And people were so nervous about whether they were going to be able to do it. But anyway, you wrote what you were breaking through on one side and breaking into on the other side. That was just after my first Beth Shalom. Hurricanes like Charles, our house. Okay, so we have this cross that we built, my husband built out in the front of our property. And you can see all these trees. I think we had 16 trees down. All these trees. This is the root of one of the three trees that came up by the cross. Like that's the root ball. And I could stand at the side of it, and it was not even come up to where the dirt came. I mean, so it was huge, right? And with all of these trees down everywhere and like across the driveway, and we couldn't get through. Look what's still standing. How cool, huh? Sickness. Boy. Spinal cord. My heavens.
Oh my God.
Am I just going back over this? Oh, Luke's artwork. How God takes broken pieces and puts them back together in your heart. Light in the darkness. This was the conference. He just wanted so much to be a part of it from North Carolina. So he called and I would step up and let him be with us for a little bit. Roots. Roots is a big deal. Half this hurts. Freedom fighters. I spoke every word over this land. Every principle. Certain victory, probity, just everyone. Okay. because we were there all day, all night, and again the next morning. Yes. Mhm. And then my notes from classes. Some specific words that I appreciate much in my personal